Number 45, we have t squared minus 2t minus 8 over 4 minus t squared. I'm first going to do is factor out a negative 1 so that we can have a positive t squared, which then, if I divide 4 by negative 1, is negative 4, times t squared minus 5t plus 6 over t squared minus t minus 12. So we're going to start by factoring. So I know the numerator is t times t for t squared. Then I have to look at, I have a negative when I add or subtract, and I have a negative when I multiply. So I know the higher number is going to be a negative and the lower number a positive. So what times what will get me 8? And subtract to get me 2. I know that 4 and 2 are factors of 8. Now will negative 4 plus 2 get me negative 2? Yes. Then I'm going to bring my negative 1 on my denominator back down, and then I'm going to factor. And t times t, and then negative 2, positive 2, because negative 2 times positive 2 is negative 4. Then I'm going to factor the numerator on the second set. T times t is t squared. Then I have, when I add or subtract, I get a negative, but when I multiply, I get a positive. I know they're both negative. And what times what will get me 6, and add to get me 5? I know 3 times 2 will get me 6. Negative 3 times negative 2 will get me, when I add them, will get me 5. Now I'm going to factor the denominator. T times t will give me t squared. Then I have a negative and a negative again, so I know my higher number will be negative, my lower number a positive. What times what gets me 12, and subtracts to get me a negative 1. So I know that 4 and 3 are factors of 12. Will negative 4 plus 3 get me negative 1? It will. Now I'm going to start by reducing. T minus 4, t plus 2, t plus 2, t minus 3, up, I see there, I can't cross that out because that's t minus 3 and this is t plus 3. So I go to t minus 2, t minus 2. So on this side I'm left with 1 over negative 1, and on the other side I am left with t minus 3 over t plus 3. 1 distributed will get me t minus 3 on top. Negative 1 distributed will get me negative t minus 3 on the bottom. And they are not like terms because it's negative t minus 3 and this is positive t minus 3.